Okay, everyone, how are you? I just wanted to take a moment to go over how we're going to be organizing our content into the content blueprints. This is not a new thing that we're doing with it's pretty much what we were doing before with one slight twist. This is for, I think there was some confusion about what we were going to do, and I wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page, especially for those who were not at the meeting that we had earlier this week. So I'm going to use this one as an example here, immunology and microbiology. And so you can see Maureen has wonderfully put together her outline, and she has put down all the content objectives that she's going to be using. So here we have introduction to the immune response, innate immunity. These are the different categories of things that she's teaching. Antigen presentation and recognition, structure, adaptive immunity, immunologic memory, etc., etc. Within each one of these categories, there are topics. So in innate immunity, there's a topic of barriers, recognition, and intro to cytokines, complement, etc. And underneath that are the different objectives that fall into that topic. Now, this whole topic is going to be covered in the case Jamie Lopez. This whole topic of complement is going to be covered in the case of Jenna Wilson. You can see here, phagocytosis 1 was broken up into 2 because she was going to span 2 cases for this. So Jamie Lopez is where she's going to do one objective here. And phagocytosis 2 is going to be in Miriam Khan with all these objectives here. And so what we want to do is go through our entire objective outline and decide where we want to put things. You don't have to put these in here if you don't want to. I put them here because that's how we initially did it. I'll show you where it is more important that it goes. Now, there may be some topics that, like here, tumor immunology, that don't have a case that goes into it, right? No case assigned here. What that means is either we haven't put it in a case yet, or it might be that we decided we're not going to cover it. However, keeping the topic here is helpful because it serves as a reminder to us, a bookmark, a mental bookmark, that at some point we might want to revisit tumor immunology. In this case, it looks like Maureen said that we're going to be reviewing it in the HEMONC case, but she didn't know where yet. And so let's see if there are any others like that. I don't think so. I think hemolytic disease of the newborn, right? This is one that we might want to cover, but maybe we decided not to this year, so it's not in the case. So these are your objectives. So try to keep the topics as constant as you can, and that's what we are going to be tagging our assessment items to and tagging in the curriculum inventory, etc. The objectives, which are listed in blue here, can change because this is not this. We are going to will be the objectives, but we're going to be tagging to the topic. So we want to give you the flexibility to change these as you need to. Now, let me show you how we're going to use it. So we have here is the content case blueprint for immunology. Everyone should have this spreadsheet. There's 2. There's one for the M2 master case blueprint, and then there's one called M1 master case blueprint. All right, so let's go back here. And what you're going to want to do, let's go to the M1 actually, and we'll go to immunology, is you want to put in here all the different places that things are going. So if we go back to here, we can say, all right, so introduction 1 is going into the pre-matriculation materials. Looks like it's called intro 4 here, but okay, so we'll need to fix the name of that. Okay. Intro 2 is in Jamie Lopez, and we see here, this is Jamie Lopez here, and all of this information has to do with Jamie Lopez, including the date, the case name, all that stuff, and introduction 2 is there. Then Robert May has introduction 3, so Robert May is here, introduction 3 is here. We keep going on like that. Jamie Lopez also has barriers, recognition, and intro to cytokines, and so that is also put here. Let's go further down. Complement is Jenna Wilson. Again, so Jenna Wilson gets complement. And so you can see what's going on. Now, the reason this is important to do, and we want to do it actually for the whole year. So we're going to go from foundations all the way down to BBC in this sheet. And then if we go to the second sheet for M2, you can continue with SNR all the way to life cycle, HEMONC, and consolidation. There is no reason that you should have to type here no immunology content. Just leave that blank. It doesn't matter, okay? Because we just want to see where the stuff goes, where your content goes. We are then at the end going to bring all these topic lists together, and so we can see exactly what goes in which case and move things around if we need to. We need to do this for the whole year because let me show you here with biochemistry. Let's look at biochemistry in the M1 year actually. what we discovered is that there were some orphaned topics. I ended up putting them at the bottom here. And these are some things that I think kind of got orphaned by mistake. Now, if you look at it course by course, that's what happens. We took out all the adrenal and thyroid case, saying we'll cover it somewhere else, but we don't, without making the decision of where that somewhere else is. And so if we do that, and we also got rid of the inborn errors of metabolism 1 case, which is where some of these topics came from. So we need to know that. And that's why it's important to do it for the whole year. So you can see here is the biochemistry content blueprint for the entire M1 year. And we got some orphaned topics here that we need to find a home for. Luckily, as Gabby will tell you, we're going to try to put this case back in. This inborn errors of metabolism 1 case was probably deleted by mistake and needs to come back. And then that one will have a home. Everyone needs to do this. Everyone needs to put their material in. Again here, no embryology content. There's no reason to put that in here. It just makes things messier. Let's just get rid of that. Okay, just put the stuff where there is content. That's all we need to see. We are not going to be using those outlines. We are not going to be using those rainbow sheets anymore. And let me tell you why. It's because everybody was making changes in those. They were moving Lyme disease, the date changed, the name changed, everything changed, and nothing was in sync. And that became a problem when we tried to match things up. So these sheets actually pull from Jeffrey's event list. So you can see I'm trying to change anything in here, and I can't. All right. So if Jeffrey changes the name of the strep pneumo person from Camera Thompson 3 to Fred Flintstone, it's going to change on here, and it's going to change on every single one of these sheets. So this sheet, if you want to look, it comes here. It's pulling it from this other sheet. It's pulling all the information from there. Okay. One other thing, I'm going to put a list of links on here so you know where to go. So you just have to really have one of these things, and you can find the rest. So on this instructions sheet, you can see this link takes you to the M1 master case blueprint, which is this current sheet. The second one takes you to the M2 one, and then here are all the disciplines and roles, and then the directors are the people who are responsible for that material. Let's look at actually the role stuff, because you'll see that it's somewhat similar. All right, so let's go to communicator. So communicator, what I've done is this. There's 2 columns here for each of the program objectives that fall within communicator. So there's relationships and engaging in a plan. And so these are the names of the topics and the cases that they go in for the communicator role. And you can see here, intro to behavioral change appears more than once because we're using it more than once. We may be revisiting it several times, like facilitating a mental health history as well. Same thing with educator. You can see, let's go to leader actually. So leader, we do have some stuff here, right, in our 2 objectives. And so we then can kind of get an overview of where we put things as well. Professional, same thing. There's 3 objectives. There's an ethics and law one, identity and wellness, and then again you can go here. And so now if you want to know what are the objectives that go in basics of ethics, we can then just come back to here, and we can open up the professional content outline, and you can pull that content outline from here, this instructions thing. You can also just click here on this link, and it'll take you to that same professionalism sheet. I got it open anyway, and then now you would go and say, all right, it's taking a long time to load up. All right, there we go. Basics of ethics, and now those are the objectives that go in basics of ethics. And so when we tag assessments for this session, they'll be tagged with the tag basics of ethics. And when we put them in the curriculum inventory, it's going to be under basics of ethics. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I hope that was helpful. Please ask me if you have any questions. So again, you need to make sure that your outlines are clean in the way that you want them to, and that there's not a bunch of random stuff in there that you want to delete. If you do, please go ahead and do it. If you want me to help you do it, we can sit down for an hour and let's do it. We need to get this done by the end of this month. All right. The second thing you need to do, and again, I'm happy to sit down with you, Princess is happy to sit down with you to do this as well, is we need to fill in these spreadsheets. So the anatomy spreadsheet, we need to have all the stuff filled in here. The biochemistry one, we need to have everything filled in, etc., for every one of these disciplines. Then we'll put it all together and build our curriculum out that way. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I will talk to you guys later.